Queer-Centric is a platform for voices in the margins. It's a place where we can talk about anything because the art of conversation is missing, and I want it to be a place where we sit down and we talk about important subjects that affect all of us that are in the community. And it just so happens to be I'm a big old weirdo. I just want to do it all because here's the big secret that everybody knows and no one really talks about. You live one time. And I don't care if you're 20 or 112. If you want to do something, do it. Because it's never going to be a better time than right now. Hello, my favorite queerdos. It is Jonny with the Queer-Centric. And I'm super excited today because you probably recognize his face right now as you're looking at your screen because he is no stranger to our show. It's been almost exactly a year. I think it was September of last year that we saw this lovely gentleman. He came on when they were bringing Aladdin through my town because he's an actor and a singer-songwriter. Then he came back to talk about Walk Don't Run, which was a single he had out, and I Wouldn't Know Love, which is a single that was out then that is now an amazingly beautiful, well put together video. And I thought, first, we were just talking, me and my producer, about how much we love his voice. So without further ado, I cannot wait to welcome back Ben Chavez to the program. Hello, sir.
Hello. Thank you for having me back again.
I know. Now, a lot has happened because I think there were even wedding bells and everything since you were here last.
I know. I'm a married man now. I have a ring on my
You,
finger. I'm taken.
you are.
I'm off the market.
Right? Officially.
Officially.
Right? And, I mean, if people follow you on Instagram, which they should, you can see wonderful wedding pictures of you and your husband, Walker. You guys look amazing and you look so happy. I'm like, what's that
Thank you.
like?
You know, we are genuinely happy. We are a genuinely happy couple. You know, like you go through your life and you experience these relationships and you think, okay, well, maybe this will just be my forever person. Or maybe, you know,
Right.
like, you know, he has this issue and that issue, and we do kind of fight a lot, but I guess that's how it's supposed to be. You know, like we
Right.
navigate these relationships thinking that we should just settle for or settle for, well, nobody's really that happy in their marriage,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like your person just comes out of nowhere. Like the
Right.
cliches always say, you know, it'll happen when you least expect it, and it truly does. And that's how it happened
Isn't
with
that crazy? Well, do you know what's so funny? So, obviously, I've listened to your music plenty of times, but when I saw that the video was being released, I listened to I Wouldn't Know Love so many times, and I don't know if I just maybe it's the stage of where I am currently, but those lyrics are very much like you can ponder those. You talk a lot
yeah,
about there are these options, these choices in life.
yeah,
And I mean, it gets right down to the nitty gritty. You say it, and you do a beautiful job visualizing it in the video, where you talk about, I could have very well chosen this person.
yeah.
I could have had a good time, but it wouldn't be the same as what is actually happening for your life. Can you talk to us? I know you wrote this specifically for your now husband. Can you talk to me about the some of the lyrics and the visualization you were feeling when you were writing it?
Yeah. Well, I think you know, I'm kind of a spiritual guy, and you know, I believe in some kind of thing in the air, some kind of higher power. And I just feel like certain things cannot just happen randomly, you
Right.
know? And so I think like I always love telling my friends or people that I meet for the first time the kind of shoulda, coulda, wouldas of how I met my husband. Like if I
Yeah.
didn't go on the tour, if we didn't play in Houston, Texas, if I didn't go to a Houston Astros game that one night, and if my friend didn't say, let's go to the gay bars afterwards, like I just wouldn't have
Right.
met him. And I had never
Yeah.
even been, you know, to Houston where we were playing with the tour at the time. Um, and so like everything just happened for a reason. So the song is kind of based in the miracle of meeting your person. And
Yeah.
also, like I said earlier, you know, my second verse, I say, just think, um, I could have stayed with a guy who was driving me out of control, or you know, I could be shacked up and settled with someone I don't even know. These are
Mhm.
things that people encounter in their relationship experiences, and
Yeah.
maybe you know maybe the physical connection is there, but nothing else is there.
Right.
And and finally I met this person who showed me what true love really feels like. And I mean, it really did, like, it was like an aha moment, like, wow, this is really what it's supposed to feel like. So
Yeah.
that's what the song is born out of. And it's also kind of like it's kind of like a charge to people, like, don't settle for less than the best. You know,
Right.
you will know it when it happens.
Yeah. And
um
don't give up, you know, and
Don't give
just
up.
know that something you even say in the song, you talk about what if you would have told your friends you didn't feel like going out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's life is a series of chances, and it I do feel like, what's that old phrase, the universe is conspiring to help you.
Right.
And I feel like that's exactly what this is. But what I another thought I had was how I think I asked this question when we were talking about the two songs that we were last time you were on the show.
Yeah.
And it's very personal. Like, it is for your now husband. I know you gifted him this framed version of the lyrics.
Yeah.
How is that hard, to share that much with people you don't know?
You know, what I will say, it is not hard for me to share my feelings to my husband. You know,
Right,
the
right.
space there is super safe, and we're both people that wear our emotions and our feelings on our sleeves. So we
Yeah.
just kind of like open up whatever we have on our mind. We just say to each other. Um, I I do feel like, because though I work in the entertainment industry as a living, I'm
Right.
actually a really introverted person. And I'm when the curtain is up, I'm down to be there and be on and be animated. And as soon as the curtain is down and it's time to be social, I'm a recluse. I like to just go and stand in a corner. So with that being said, sharing some personal stuff through music is pretty vulnerable for me. And it's a little scary. Like,
Yeah.
I, I think about my family hearing the songs. Like, I say the word sex in this song. I'm like,
Yes.
you know, I remember I have a younger half brother who's now 12 years older. I think he's about to turn 13. And when the song came out, um, he was like, "The song is great, but there was one part I really didn't like." And I'm like, "What was it?" He goes, "Well, you talked about sex in your song." And we'll have that conversation at some point. But yes,
Right.
it is vulnerable. But I think how I overcome the fear is that I feel like I want to impart the experiences that I've been through to other
Right.
people. And my the songs that I write have a bit of a they always have some kind of message to them.
Yeah.
And um, you know, I try to create stories that anybody can relate to. And I think that the most important part of this one is that it gets better.
Yeah.
And so often we don't allow ourselves to imagine the best case scenario of a situation. We always come up with reasons A through Z that a situation could go wrong. But
Right.
what if we imagined the best case scenario? What if it actually ended up even better than we could have possibly dreamed? And
Yeah.
so as someone who's kind of experiencing that right now, I want to tell people, like, you can have what you deserve and more.
Right. And
Yeah.
you can like relish that time of life. Now, tell me, so I just love all the arts. I listen to music all the time. But there is something about seeing a video representation, especially knowing that the artist had some, hand in shaping this, and it changes the way you interact with the song. It can deepen the emotion even. So tell me how it came about that you decided this is the song, I want to do a video for this, and then how did that impetus come to life?
Yeah. So this was born when I was on tour. My castmates on Aladdin were very supportive of my work, and we would get together like once a month for a listening session. And if I had something new to share, I'd get to play their song, play my song for them. I'd get some feedback. They would share, their reactions and how they were able to connect with it. So it was a super safe space. And I had released I Wouldn't Know Love. And one of my good friends on tour, Brandon Burks, who is not only an amazing performer, but a great film director. He's an amazing editor and choreographer. And he's kind of just like, in my life, a queer icon.
Yeah.
And, he and his partner were listening to the song, and they were like, we got to do a video for this. Like, have you done a music video? And I had not. I'm really bad at marketing myself. So like, to have other people come forth and say, we want to help elevate this piece of work, I was like, game on, let's do it. So, Brandon put together a storyboard and, the shot list, and it kind of reimagined the song in a way that I didn't even think of.
Yeah.
I love in the video where, you see the guys meet, and at the end of the video, kind of backtracks to the starting point,
Right.
which kind of
Yeah.
encapsulates the what if I didn't do this, what if I didn't do that, what if we didn't talk to each other.
Yeah.
So the video was really Brandon Burks's kind of brainchild, and I was so happy to be along for the ride, and sprinkle in whatever little input I could.
Right.
But I was honored to see that song come to life in such a beautiful way through storytelling and dance.
Yeah.
Um, those two guys in the video are spectacular, and I kind of get goosebumps every time I watch it myself.
Yes. Well, I love the like just the fact that dance is in there, but also like even in a scene where you're this couple's at home, that it's this beautiful choreographed. I just love that they're on the couch, and yet it is this also this beautiful dance that has obviously been choreographed for them to do. It was absolutely beautiful. So, and so you were obviously on set for part of this because we see your face and you're
Yeah.
at the piano and you're in a chair. Were you there for the whole shoot, or when were you present?
I was there for yeah, I would say I was there for probably 95% of the shoot. What I before I arrived on day one, they had already done some choreography work, and I got to show up and like see the magic happen.
Yeah.
But I said to Brandon, the director, I want to be there and watch it all. Even if I'm not in a shot, I just want to see
Right.
what they're doing. I just
Yeah.
kind of admire their talents. And
Yeah.
what you say about I think one of my favorite parts was when they were at home, because it's at home that I think, um, behind closed doors is where you can really encounter safety within a relationship. You
Yeah.
know, in public, any relationship can put on a show. Anyone can look happy, but when you shut the world out and it's just the two of you in your place together, that's where you
Yeah.
really discover what your connection is like. And
Right.
something so simple as like chopping vegetables, which they do together in the video, and they
Yeah.
make it look so, um, I don't know if it's romantic, but it just looks so comfortable. It looks so
Yeah.
safe and comfortable. And I really love that part where they're sitting on the couch and just kind of touching each other. And it's not necessarily sexual, but it's
Yeah.
but it's safe.
Yeah.
It's
It's
I don't know.
intimate. It
Yeah,
may not be sexual, but it is very intimate,
yeah,
in that. What was it like? So, I'm sure you've watched this video together, you and your husband.
yeah.
What's that? I mean, it's one thing for us being out here and we see this beautiful song, we hear it, we get to see it, but then to see something that was created out of that love, and then you get to see the visual on top of, it's what was that like for you guys?
It was really special. And my husband Walker, he is he's an emotional guy, and it's one of the things that I admire most about him is that he will be moved to tears by anything. And so to watch the video with him and just kind of hold each other while we were watching that, it
Oh,
just made the whole thing worth it.
yeah,
Um,
for sure.
and it's just always so special for us to kind of celebrate these milestones in our relationship.
Yeah.
And the video came out shortly after our wedding. um, and and actually, fun fact, this song played at our wedding when I walked down the aisle,
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
we had a string quartet do an arrangement of the song.
Oh,
So like, just the whole storyline of us meeting, I wrote the song, that was released, we got married, this
uh,
video came out. It's just really nice to kind of check in with each other through art and through
yeah,
music.
yeah.
But it was super special, and we both kind of teared up just
Oh,
watching.
for sure. How could you not? I mean, and this song in your lives is just part of that tapestry that is the journey that you guys are on. It's just, it's inevitably just part. of who you guys are. I think
Yeah.
that's amazing. Now that you've done a video, do you think you're like, I'm going to be open to the video thing in my future?
Yes, I do think I'm going to be open to the video thing.
Yeah.
That kind of like it just lit a fire for me,
Yeah.
and it got me excited to do more and
Yeah.
explore, storytelling through music more than just press play on a recording.
Right. Right. Which
Um,
is already an amazing thing to do, especially with your music. So then to be able to see it, I do have to ask, like, so you guys have been married not a year yet, but you're
six,
heading there.
6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. What is it like? You are in this beautiful relationship, that glow of being married now, newlywed still with that title over you. How do you balance your creative life, which of course you're acting everywhere, you're wanting to write music? Because I know you had said in a piece before that you used to, like, the last time you challenged yourself to write a new song, in every city. It was that discipline to keep making
Yeah,
sure it's there. But now you're also married and you want to enjoy that. How do you balance it?
it's a great question. It's a great question.
Yeah.
Well, I will say that music is such a big part of our relationship, and I find myself at a piano almost every single day.
Yeah.
I do it for work. I play piano every day for some part of my work life, and I do a lot of public performing too, where he can attend, and I find myself kind of dedicating a lot of songs to him.
Oh,
So
yeah.
even when I don't necessarily have something original to share with him, I'm always trying to whip a new song out of a hat that I can be like, and this one is for you, and this one is for you.
Oh, that's
Um,
amazing.
but I feel like being in this relationship, it adds a whole new color to my songwriting.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to work on some holiday music, which will be released soon. And I see things now through the lens of being a gay, out and proud married man, which just
Yeah.
changes everything.
Yeah.
Changes everything.
And it's
And
crazy because you think 20 years ago, this was not an opportunity that would have been allotted. And now, hallelujah, you get to be that out and proud, married
yeah,
gay man.
and we don't take it for granted. At our wedding, we had 200 guests at our wedding,
Nice.
which
Wow.
was incredible. But for the ceremony, at each seat at the ceremony location, there was a tribute card where we kind of gave thanks to the queer people that came before us, who paved the way
Oh,
for us to be here today, and who did not necessarily have the opportunity to get married like we are, and just kind of wanted to let people know that we stand on their shoulders. We couldn't be here without them, and we
yeah.
chose a public park to get married in so that anybody could see what was happening. And
Right.
maybe a young kid could be walking by who was encountering their queer identity, and would maybe see something in front of them that they may not have thought was possible for
Right.
themselves.
God, you're killing me. You're killing me. I am a lot like your husband. Anything will make me cry. I'm a lot like my mother. She's the same exact way.
Yeah,
But what a beautiful thing. So I'm also curious in this process, as you are. I feel like you're a lot like me in the fact that creativity is just part of you. Like, you can't deny it. It's there,
yeah.
and so that's how you express your world, your experience. So you know how there's these two frames of thought, I think, in creatives out there. There is the I would say my 20s were definitely like, creative people, we don't need structure. We're supposed to be free, which is great. And if that works for you, happy, get it.
Yeah.
And then there's oh, wait, if I marry a little bit of structure to my creativity, which is what I think about when you say that you challenged yourself for a new song in every
Yeah.
city. It brings structure to the creativity. And then I feel now in my middle young years, is what I call them. I see the benefit of adding a little structure. I get more done and I get to be more creative. Where do you think you fall in that creative vibe?
So I think you and I are actually very similar. I just finished up with my 20s, and that definitely was a creative sort of like, yeah, when it happens time. And
Right.
now I just turned 31 a couple days ago, actually.
Oh,
And
congrats. Oh, that's right. I saw that. Happy birthday.
thank you, thank you, thank you. And now that I have work that's released and published out for the world to see, I think that also adds a bit of pressure of like, well, what's next? You can't just have a giant lull of 2 years of doing nothing. There has to be something else.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah.
I'm thankful that Walker, he's the organized one of the two of us.
Nice.
He is all about making lists. He has one of those old fashioned desk calendars where he writes everything down, and so that has provided me with a lot of structure, which I'm so thankful for.
Yeah.
But I think also when you are driving the ship of your creativity, nobody is making you do anything, and this is the hardest part. Nobody is saying you need to release this song, in 6 months. There's no
Yeah.
one there to tell you what to do. You are driving the ship. And so I have come to this realization that, if nobody tells me to do it, I need to find it in myself to make myself do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and time flies, life is short. So
Yeah.
we got to make the most of this thing. So I'm now finding some excitement in the fundraising process and the marketing process,
Right.
and also being okay with leaning on other people for help. I
Yeah.
want to just do a quick shout out.
Yeah.
I have a good friend, Melanie, who's also a songwriter, and she and I went to college together. She's so good at the marketing thing, and she's so great at holding herself to deadlines and releasing song after song every couple months. And I admire that. And so I reached out to her a few weeks ago and I said, why don't you and I collaborate on a song together? Which is a vulnerable thing for a songwriter too, to let somebody else in. So we are working on this holiday song, and I wrote this duet, and we're in the process of recording it now, and I'm excited to learn some marketing from her, and
Right.
and kind of experience that camaraderie of creatives leaning on each other for support. Um,
Well, and I look at it, so I look at it a lot now. I've changed through the years with how I approach how I do a show and everything. And my favorite thing is this is an indie artist time. I feel like that's true in acting. It's true in Hollywood, obviously, right now. It's true in music. And so if we, as a community, lift each other up, I think seeing that, because I lived in LA for a while, and listen, and I liked LA. It was fun. And there's a creative energy that I couldn't get anywhere else but in LA. But LA also teaches you it's the anti-collaboration is what it
right,
is. So
right,
like everybody out for themselves. And I get it. You are in, LA where everybody goes to be a star. And I'm a collaborative human. That's
yeah,
just who I am. And I love community and I love celebrating. So I love going back to my indie friends and my indie artists who have been on and talking about how do we raise you up, because that's where it's at, because creativity to me is so pure
yeah,
and I love creatives. So let's say, like you just said, you reached out to your friend, because you can learn stuff from her, she's no doubt can learn stuff from you. um what and don't think I forgot that you mentioned you have holiday music coming. We will get there.
I'm
Plus
shamelessly speaking.
I love it. Plus, I kind of found the hints on your Instagram. But what would you say to other creative people about how to get out of their own way and embrace this collaborative community that we have as independent artists?
Yeah, I would say first and foremost, look for a mentor. When I was doing that songwriting thing on tour, where I would write a new city in every city, write a new song in every city, I had a mentor on tour. He was a fellow actor who had been working in the industry for like 30 years and was a brilliant songwriter. And he said, "You want to write more songs? I'm going to give you assignments." And he came up with these assignments where he said, "Okay, find a book title and change one word in that book title, and then write a song about it. Write a song that has onomatopoeia in it." And so through doing these assignments, I developed like a whole notebook of new songs that eventually would become some of my released music. So mentorship is huge. And sometimes it's hard to ask for help from somebody, who's older and wiser, but the challenge is what helps you grow, So mentorship is great. Also, like I said, leaning on other creatives. And just what was huge for me was having those sharing sessions. Share your work. A work does not have to be a finished masterpiece in order for you to share it.
Exactly.
You can
Yeah.
say, you know what, I'm going to get my friends together for coffee or drinks. I have a song and a chorus, and
Yeah.
I'm going to share that, see how it gets received, and then get that feedback and figure out how to move on. So,
Exactly.
like embracing the vulnerability of sharing your stuff, even if it's not finished, that's
Yeah.
huge. So those are my
Exactly.
big three things: mentorship, leaning on your friends, and sharing your work, whether it's finished or not.
I love that. It also, so I believe a lot in how we share our energy with
Mm,
each other. And
yeah,
that creates this whole other perspective and growth. Because we talk about honing our craft a lot in the creative community. Well,
yeah,
to hone it, you have to be willing to. I love the idea of changing a word and having to write something. It doesn't mean you're writing your greatest hit, but it is making that part of your creativity hone down and get better, and
yeah.
and I think that's important for all of us.
Another thing too, you brought up something about this this age of indie artists, and I have grappled with this because I'm really not a social media person. Like I wish we could go back to the days of the DJ discovers you and gets a hold of a
Right.
cassette tape of your song and plays it on the radio, and
Yeah.
it's kind of out of your control. But
Yeah.
these days, the self marketing really is the driving force behind the buzz of your
Yeah.
work. And so I'm trying to get better at just releasing, an informal 15-second video of me at the piano or something. Just
Yeah.
putting something out there. And I've noticed, that the algorithm, it detects those kinds of things, and it does, plug those things out to your audience. And I think that the biggest piece of advice I've gotten recently is people just want to see you be you.
That's exactly
They
right.
just want to see you
Yep.
be you.
Yep.
So to people getting started, don't be afraid to do those, 10, 15-second things of you just doing one little thing or singing a quick
Right.
little verse of something. It doesn't have to be, lights, camera, action, fully produced thing. Just be you.
Exactly. And I think that says, I mean, and you nailed it with this whole new, and I guess it's not new, but it is getting bigger and bigger. This social media aspect
Yeah.
of getting ourselves out there. I do you mind? This was not on my notes, but I it's something I talk about my friends with a lot, with my friends with a lot, which is I'm gonna have see if you're willing to give a hot take on something that I think really is divisive at times. If I were to say the artist Chapel Roan, I'm sure you've heard, and there I was talking to someone who is they talked about respecting her authenticity. Obviously, I have an opinion; it comes out in my voice. Um, and then I remember when the first video dropped, and she had thoughts because I was thinking back to when you're talking about people connecting to the story. That really is where she made some comments at the very beginning, and they've not left her. Um, and what do you feel about that subject of Chapel Roan and how she is currently dealing with a success that she, maybe she wasn't expecting? I'm not sure,
Right.
but
I mean, she's clearly doing something right. Um,
because we're all talking about it.
right. And, I teach a lot of private voice lessons, and my students these days are like, I want to work on this Chapel Roan song. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. Bring it on.
Right.
Um, what did inspire me was that the video of her, playing on her keyboard in the park and saying
Yeah.
just a few years ago she was playing in a park for 10, 15 people,
Right.
and now she's
Right.
playing these arenas.
Yeah.
So something
She's
is going right there.
yeah.
Um,
No, and I agree with you there. I feel like maybe her people didn't give her media lessons, probably, because it's just not as polished. And so she's saying things that I still feel there's going to come a day, if it's not today, that she's going to be like, oh, maybe I should have just changed the way
yeah,
I said it.
yeah,
Because I completely agree with the respect of artists. I think that's a very important, and that we have been trained to erase a boundary when we've seen someone, whether they're a celebrity or a celebrity to us. You know
Right.
what I mean? So I'm down with that. But I'm not gonna lie, I stopped listening to her music because I was mad. I'm like, there are 100,000 people out here who want this,
Yeah.
and you can find a way. All of our divas from the past found a way to, Bette Midler is famous for her interview with Johnny Carson when she said, I used to hate when I was approached. I was asked for autographs. She goes, and one day I realized I need to show a little grace that although there needs to be boundaries, I need to remember that, oh, I get to do this. So it's this weird nuance. Like, no, don't give away your autonomy, but at the same time, let's not get it twisted. You know what
Right.
I mean?
And like
Yeah.
you clearly got into this business for some kind of connection with the people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, lean into that a little maybe.
Yeah. So when they tell you they connect to it, don't tell them that you're off the clock.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm just like a barista. I'm like, but no, not really.
But no, I mean, you're out there now,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
use. I do think it is important to use your platform for something good.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And I wish her all the best. She's a young lady. That's probably the worst time to get famous is when you're young.
yeah,
And so I do wish her the best, but it's a lot right now. And for artists like you, that could happen to you tomorrow. We don't know. If you're out there putting your creativity out, and when it happens, it's interesting how we choose to deal with that.
I think about that too. I do want to be somebody who can still walk down the store and go to walk down the street to go to the store, and
Right.
not be mobbed by people.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but I think just having your people and having your close friends, and I'm fortunate to have my person too. Like
Yeah.
I feel like we have weathered so many things, and the touring and the long distance, and the pandemic. I feel like
Right.
we can get through anything, and
Exactly.
he's like the biggest supporter of my art too. Like he really is. He's my biggest cheerleader. Um,
Yeah.
and I think nobody wants me to win, a Grammy or to go platinum more than he does. He talks about it all
Right.
the time, and honestly, that hype is what helps me press on and produce
Yeah.
more things.
Yeah. I have to say, because as any good interviewer, I stalk you both. So I'm also follow his Instagram, and you are not
Good.
kidding. Like such love on both of yours, and it's really beautiful to see. Now I am not letting you go. I have two things I want to talk about. One is you've been hinting at this holiday on here, but also you did on your Instagram, and I
Good.
I want to know what details. I know you're working with your friend to
Mhm.
do a song, but give me some more details. Give me some juicy tidbits.
Well, my that's a good nickname, Juicy Tidbit. Um, I in,
It's going to be on the back of my sweats. That's what I'm going to do now.
I always make that stupid joke of that's what they used to call me in high school, Juicy Tidbit.
Right? I do that all the time
I
too.
do it
Yeah.
all the time. My friends now roll their eyes every time I say that. But yeah, so the music that I have out is very pop soul inspired, and so I'm kind of staying in that vein. Um,
Nice.
I will say that the duet that I'm collaborating on with my friend is kind of a cinematic ballad. So that is kind of new. But then
Yeah.
I'm working on a solo piece. I won't say the name of it yet, but I will say that it is very pop soul. It's upbeat. It's got trumpets. It's got the full band effect. It's just a feel good holiday song. I'm super excited about that one. And I
Awesome.
may
Do
do
you
some others. Good.
do you have a release date yet?
That will come out at Thanksgiving time.
Yeah. Oh, it's almost here. We are almost there.
Yeah, yeah,
I love
incredible.
that. Also, I have two last things. I just added another one. The second one is please tell our listeners and the people who watch where can they see the new video?
Yes, the new video is on YouTube. There's a snippet of it on my Instagram, which is Ben_Chavez. And then YouTube at Ben Chavez Music is where the video is at. You can see the full thing there. And also, I encourage people to follow the artists that are involved in the video too. The director, Brandon Burks, the dancers, Daniel Brackett and Brandon J. Large. There's also some choreographers who were involved. They're all brilliant artists who are doing amazing things too. So go check out the YouTube video or see it on my Instagram and follow those people.
Very much so. And the dancers are breathtaking the way they move. I'm always inspired because I cannot move like that. And it's a beautiful piece. So so glad that I saw that you had released it. And so, yes, please, everybody go. We will put a link to it in this interview as well to
Thank
do
you.
that. Now, last, you say we're right there. You like a challenge. I like a challenge.
Okay, bring it on.
It makes me better. Will you take this challenge and see if you'll do it? But by June, when we hit Pride Month again, I would love your take on a gay anthem. Because you have all the pieces, but I love the way you deliver your music. Your voice is absolutely phenomenal. I would love to see what would you make as a gay anthem.
A gay anthem.
Yeah.
Deal. Game on. My
I
husband's
love
he's
this.
applauding in the background. He's excited.
See? Yeah.
Okay, great. And then I'll come back on
Yeah.
the show. Maybe I should do a live performance on the show.
Oh my God, yes, you should.
Wouldn't that
Yeah,
be
that's
fun?
right. Okay, everybody heard it here. We're
You heard
not
it
going to
here.
back down now. This is
That's
perfect.
it. I put it's on the record now.
It's there. I've got to tell you, like I was telling you, me and my producer talked before we started this interview. I love listening to your voice. I love your approach to music. I love it's a timeless but like fun style. And
Thank
so
you.
I'm super glad you're still out there doing it. And
Thanks.
do you have so people we mentioned they can go see you on your Instagram. Do you have a website?
I do. BenChavezMusic.com.
See, all the pieces people need to go to, and we will be promoting Ben's music for this interview, but also watching and waiting for your holiday release.
Thank
I
you.
cannot thank you enough for coming back on to talk to us about the video and just what it's like to be creative and share your opinion because I make all my friends tell me what they think about Chavez. So,
You get real. I love it. You juicy tidbits. That's your nickname.
juicy tidbits. I'm going to make a segment, and that's what it's going to be called.
Yeah.
And that's what, when I ask people about hot takes about things like that, it's called Juicy Tidbits.
And I can write the juicy tidbits jingle if you would like as
Oh,
well.
see? We're in. We're in. Well, I am so excited for continued success for you, for more people discovering who you are, and for you having to navigate what's it like when you blow up and you have all these arena shows. I wish that for you.
I will be on your show regardless, okay?
I love it. We are in. So thank you, my friend. Remember, everybody, you can catch our show at thequeercentric.com, at all of our socials, our Instagram, or our YouTube channel. And remember, you can also catch Bears of a Certain Age, which is another podcast that we do. Mindful Mondays, you name it. I just like a camera. So that's where we are. But until next time, my queerdos, these are the shows I love.
I don't really know what comes next. I'm just doing my best, even though I'm so stressed out. Everything just feels like a test that I fail, so depressed when I can't seem to get out. But something deep